Hey everyone, today we are making this delicious vanilla buttercream cake. This one that you see. I have already shared the recipe of vanilla cake and vanilla buttercream. If you haven't seen it, I'll leave the links in the description box for you to check this out. So today in this video, I'm telling you how to ice the cake. So let's get started. So we'll start with the cake board. You can use a cake board or you can use a plate. This is the cake that we made the other day, and I'm using a serrated knife. You can use a plain knife also. This is also known as bread knife. Now I'm removing the top layer. Since we have baked the cake, and I told you about the trick in the end to cover the cake from the top, so this does not bloat the cake and we don't have a lot of wastage in the cake. This is a 6-inch cake and I'm going to slice it into 2 parts. I usually like a cake leveler, but for the convenience of this video, so that everybody can understand that they can make or ice this cake with minimum number of tools available. So I'm using 2 6-inch cakes and I've sliced both of them. Now with a little bit of buttercream on the cake board, we'll place the cake, and I'm just adding a little bit of simple syrup. Simple syrup is nothing, boiled water along with sugar. I do not want to overpower this. Now since we have kept the cake in the fridge, you can see the crumbs are all nice and settled, and just after the icing the crumbs will come back in the moist shape, but while icing the cake it will not disturb us by mixing it with the buttercream. So I have already shared the recipe of this vanilla cake and this buttercream as well in my YouTube channel. So please do check that video out. I have used a multigrain atta, not Maida, not whole wheat atta. So that is why the color of the cake is a little dense. But if you use Maida and you are looking for a white cake, you please go ahead with Maida for that, or all-purpose flour. Just add a dollop of buttercream, and so try and make it consistent, like if you're adding 2 spoons, then keep it 2 spoons for all the layers. This will kind of give you a uniform layer of icing all throughout each layer, not overpowering. So I'm not making the icing too thick here. After each layer I'm adding the simple syrup. The most leveled cake will be on the top. So I've left 1 piece and that will go on the top layer. So this gives us a smooth surface for the top surface. Now you have to keep the palette knife at an angle and almost at 45-degree angle, and not cut through the buttercream. It's like you've just gently placed it on the buttercream and the turntable does the magic. You just keep your hand still. You don't have to move your hand at all. The turntable will do all the magic for you. So now I'm adding the topmost cake on top. We are there on Instagram. If you haven't checked out our Instagram page, we share a lot of fun things on Instagram. I mean, a lot of behind the scenes goes, a lot of the DIYs, a lot of new recipes, what I eat, and all those things I like to share on Instagram. So now what I'm doing over here is I'm adding a very thin layer of icing, and this what it does is it keeps all the crumbs within the icing, and when we'll do the final layer of icing it will not come out, and I just don't like the specks of crumbs coming in the icing. So this is called as the this is also called as dirty icing or the crumb coat. This is very, very important, and you do any cake, you should always consider doing first layer as a crumb coat. So suppose if I want to make a naked cake, I'll go on smoothing this cake a little more to my desired amount of frosting that I would like to have it, and the technique that I show you at the end of the video, you will use that technique and leave it at this stage only, and put on whatever decorations you like to have, sugar flowers, real flowers, or whatever decorations that you have for the naked cake, or maybe for fruits or anything. So this is how you make the naked cake. But if we are since we are making a nice frosted cake, after doing this crumb coat, I'll leave this cake in the fridge or the freezer, I would say, for about 15 to 20 minutes. And if I'm leaving it in the fridge, I will leave at least for an hour. Now my cake is just out of the freezer, and the butter is absolutely frozen tight. So now it is ready to hold the final layer of icing. Now when we are doing the icing, the technique here is to put a lot of icing initially, like you will see me just dabbing the icing on everywhere. I mean, I'll be throwing icing on the cake, and then later on I'll be scraping it out up to my desired thickness. I have seen the biggest mistake what bakers usually do, or the cake decorators who are just starting do, is they add very less icing. So what you do is, while you're trying to scrape away the buttercream, you scrape the cake as well, and hence you kind of get all the crumbs and everything in the icing, or you are kind of denting the cake by any chance. So this is a typical pottery technique that is used in cakes as well. If you have ever seen a potter doing the same thing, so he starts with a big lump of clay, and then eventually he takes out whatever is not required. As you can see here, wherever I'll see that there is any lumps or bumps, I'll keep on smoothing it, and it's a process. I'll for the sake of the video, I have just kind of shortened the time of how many times I'm doing the icing, but if I had to do it in real life or any kind of an event, so if it's any friend or relative's birthday, I would go on smoothing it till the time I see there is no uneven surface. Now this is my scraper tool, and I'll link all these in the description box for you. This is very easily available, and it's a very inexpensive tool, but it makes your life really, really easy. As you can see, with the spatula it was taking me a lot of time. With this scraper tool, you see that it will be done in minutes. Now wherever I see there is an uneven space, or any space where there is no buttercream or there is less buttercream, I'll go ahead and add it with the spatula, and then take the scraper tool and smooth it out. So this is the process. You'll go to and fro till the time you feel that okay, this is done, this is right for me. On top, again the same technique goes. You take your palette knife and keep it at an angle of 35 degree to 40 degree, and you can do it with your scraper tool as well, but you need to have a very precise hands. I'm more comfortable using a spatula or a palette knife, not spatula, a palette knife for the top and for a scraper tool for the sides. So you're seeing that I've been alternating between the palette knife and the scraper. So this will go on continuing till the smooth top finish I don't reach, and this is how smooth that it has helped me, and I have left it again in the freezer for 15 minutes. Now I've taken a super hot water in a glass and I have dipped my palette knife in that water. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this palette knife through the cake. Now this will give me an absolutely silky smooth surface, and the more you go and the more smooth surface that you get. So this again takes 10 to 15 minutes time, I would say, to smooth out this size of a cake. Minimum 10 to 15 minutes. I'm not including the amount of time that is there in the fridge. The cake goes in the fridge, so minimum 10 to 15 minutes you consider that it will take. So I'll keep on dipping this palette knife in the hot water and wiping it off with a tissue paper, and then again going back and forth with it. If you're liking this video, then please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family, and do consider subscribing to our channel. We have just started a series on cake where I'm going to teach you each and everything about piping, baking, icing the cake, using a fondant, and decorating the cakes. So please do consider subscribing to our channel. So I'm just cleaning the lip that is formed on top of the cake. Now using 1E piping nozzle, I'm just piping some buttercream on top of this, and this creates a very simple and elegant design. You can leave it as it is also and decorate it with some fruits or berries, even with nuts if you like. So you can check out my Facebook page and my Insta page for more inspirations. And this is how the cake looks. I hope you liked the video, and please show us some love, and if you have any questions, do leave a comment in the description box. We have shared the entire recipes and also shared the link of the other two videos that is there for the vanilla cake and the vanilla buttercream icing. Now this buttercream icing does not use eggs or icing sugar, so it is worth watching. And this is how the cake looks, and this is the layers that it has. So thank you so much for watching.